This year, we are celebrating America's 250th birthday by talking to people and organizations that are making some major changes in our community. And today we have the founder of the Gentlemen's League, Dr. Archie Moss Jr. Dr. Moss, thank you so much for being here with us. We're so glad to have you.
I'm excited to be here.
So for those people who may not be familiar, what is the Gentlemen's League?
Yes, so the Gentlemen's League is an all-male mentorship program. We have different components. One of which it actually started as a school-based program. So basically we center all that we do on how do we cultivate joy for our boys through the culture, through the idea of mentoring. And so everything is about how we pouring into them, how are we assigning young people with some prominent mentors within the community, within their schools, to actually guide them and support them along the way.
When did this program start and what inspired it?
Wow, so the program actually started as a second-year teacher in Charlotte, North Carolina. I actually started my teaching career at Whitewater Middle School in Charlotte as a Teach for America alum. And ultimately, I noticed that a lot of my boys were just struggling academically, behaviorally, socially. So like, what do I need to do to try to help support them and guide them and get them on the right path? And so I, originally from Miami, Florida, actually was a part of a mentoring program growing up called the 5,000 Role Models. And I knew how much of an impact it had on me. So like, why don't I try to create this, replicate it in some way at my school? And so it really just started as a classroom passion project that then when I transitioned to Memphis 11 years ago, became a mentoring program that I wanted to establish here. And then eventually we became a 501c3 and started at one school, and now we're serving 16 schools, over 700 boys.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And what a way to reach young men. I mean, that is incredible. Tell us about the activities that you all do as a group.
Absolutely. So we have 4 program components. As I was mentioning, we actually just start off as a school-based program. One thing that makes us really unique is that we believe that mentorship needs to happen within the school confine. The boys need to see their mentors. You know, if they're having difficulties on any given day, if you know your mentors at the school down the hallway, who's going to come get you if you make a mistake, that makes them more accountable to making better choices every single day. And so we pride ourselves on really being a school-based program where we have to live within the blueprint, or like we sometimes like to call it, the black print of a school, so that it's a part of what they do. And so ultimately, we have workshop series. And so once a month, they participate in workshops, focus on career readiness, leadership development, social well-being, but ultimately just pouring into their minds. We take them on field trips. We have incentive programs where we're ultimately having them set goals for themselves. What are they trying to accomplish? And when they accomplish those goals, we believe in just rewarding them. So through our partnerships with the Memphis Grizzlies Foundation, we allow them to go to Grizzlies games, gift cards, game trucks. So ultimately, we're trying to make sure that we make them excited about making great choices while they're in school each and every day. And so our program really just started as just a school-based program. We work with existing school-based staff to do the mentoring, to actually each school site. We're at 16 schools, some Memphis Shelby County schools, some charter schools that actually each have a site coordinator that we pay an additional stipend to run our programming. And they run their programming, they run their sites. And so we started it that way, and then we realized we can't possibly partner with every school right now, even though we want to. We eventually want to work toward being in every school because we think every school needs mentoring. So we established a community workshop series where we meet with young people one Saturday out of the month. And that is actually focused on more career readiness, leadership development as well, where we partner with different leaders, organizations, to expose them to different careers. And so we've taken them to the Olive Branch Flight Academy. We've taken them to different Sunstorm Music Studio to learn about how to make music. We've partnered with Code Crew. We've just partnered with different organizations to really expose them to different careers because we have this belief. We always say our boys can't be what they can't see.
Yes.
But they also can't pursue what they've never experienced. And so if we don't actually expose them to different careers, how do they know if that's something they actually want to go into later on in life? And so we're like, hey, maybe something we expose them to is going to spark something in them to just say, I actually want to go down this road later on in life. And so Community Workshop Series, our newest component, and then we have 2 different. I keep on going. If you want me to keep on going.
Go ahead,
Beautiful.
please.
All right. So we then established as a principal, I realized that I was an elementary principal. So I started off as a middle school teacher, middle school administrator. And so sports and having all those activities is something that I throve off of. Like, I just love being able to have that fun with young people. And I was like, well, I'm in elementary school. I don't get to have that fun anymore because there aren't organized teams or organized sports. So I was like, well, I'm going to establish something. So in 2018, we established the Elementary Basketball League, which is a school-based, so, we have AAU leagues. So, we have community organizations that are doing great work with exposing young people to sports and that development process. But I wanted to create something that lives within a school community because it's something about establishing a culture and having teachers, families, community members come out to support our young people in a school setting, the sense of pride that's created. And so we established the Elementary Basketball League. And so that league that started off with just 4 schools, we just actually wrapped up our season. And we actually had 34 schools this year, over 450 athletes that we work with. Shout out to Promise Academy, who were our champions this year. I love to see the basketball league come, but I'm so excited when it leaves because there's just so much excitement and joy around youth sports and everybody wants to win.
Absolutely.
And every year there can only be one. So excited that it's over with. And so I can get ready for next year. And then our last program component is our annual conference that we do, which is our day of empowerment, where we pour into the minds of the young people. And they're very similar to our community workshop series. In the afternoons, they have exploration stations. And so that's where we partner with different people. Again, they come in, they do kickboxing, they do yoga, they do urban farming, they do film creating. So basically, any idea that young people have about what they may be interested in, we go out there and we find someone to present to them so they can experience what it's like to be a part of those organizations or programs.
Wow. I mean, this is a powerhouse organization that is really helping students not only get exposure, but have access to all of these different programs and to have the knowledge. Knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
And you cannot use what you do not know.
Absolutely.
And so it's so important that they're aware of all of the opportunities that lie beyond their neighborhoods, beyond their front doors, and beyond their own communities, that there's so much more out there. So talk to me about parents enrolling their children in this program. Is this free for families, or how does that work?
Absolutely. So the program's always free to families. As the program initially started, we were completely dependent on grants, which if you're in the nonprofit space, you'll understand there are ebbs and flows, there's highs and lows. Some years you feeling really good with grants, and some years like, grants, what are those? And so we were able to start off the beginning, our first couple of years of programming was really dependent on just grants, where we were able to actually go into schools and do this work. Over the last few years, we've actually realized that we've had to diversify our income. And so we've actually had quite a few schools that have bought into our program. And so now we actually have paid partners from our organizations who are paying for our services, but they're paying for the services so that families, young people, don't have to pay a dime. And so for these schools that we're partnering with for our community workshop series, it is all free of charge. Again, we just want them to send their young people, bring them, and we're gonna take care of them. That's all we ask.
I love that. That is awesome. And a great way to overcome that challenge of needing the funding and getting the community to invest in what you're doing is very important. So this program is specifically for boys, I believe, in grades 3rd through 12th.
Correct.
Talk to me about why those years are so critical in a young man's life to becoming a gentleman.
Absolutely. So we really want to start with 3rd grade for many reasons. Number one, that's when accountability on the educational level actually starts, when testing comes. In K through 2, students are learning to read, and 3 and above, they're reading to learn. And so we know that there's a big shift in even the way young people are being taught and educated. And there's a lot of additional needs and requests of our young people. And so we felt like it was so important at that 3rd grade age to really be able to start intervening then. What's also so interesting is that the program actually was established as a middle school program. Because we knew that those middle school kids were they were, in the middle. Even if they weren't on the right path, we could get them on the right path. But then when I became an elementary principal, I was like, well, the program got to come down to elementary school. And then later on down the line, we started awarding high school seniors scholarships to go to college. But we realized we're offering scholarships, but we stop our programming at 8th grade. So what happens to them from 8th to 12th grade?
I see.
Now we offer them a scholarship, but like it's kind of like, good luck making it there.
Yeah.
If you make it there, then we can reward you. So that's when we expanded to the high schools. And so this year, we're actually really excited that we're getting ready to celebrate our first graduating class. We actually have 13 high school seniors graduating from University High School, which is currently our one high school that we're partnering with. And so it's so exciting to be able to see now. We start with young people at age 8 in the 3rd grade, and seeing these 18-year-olds now getting ready to go off to pursue higher education, to pursue careers. It's really empowering for me to sit back and see, because like this is why we exist. We exist because we want to make sure that we're creating that cradle to career pipeline and making sure that we start with them young, but also that we're building them up so that they can get to the high school level and realize there are so many options I now have because of the exposure and the opportunities that I've been afforded.
Absolutely. And those are the success stories that we want to hear more and more about.
Absolutely.
Because our young people, they're doing great things.
Absolutely.
So that's excellent. So what are some other core values and lessons that children learn through your program? You mentioned accountability.
Yes.
What else?
Yes. And so ultimately, integrity. We're really trying to make the young people be aware that how are you going to act when no one's watching? You know, making sure that we're really building these strong, trustworthy, honest individuals is one of our core values that we really stick with. Another one is a sense of brotherhood. We really want to have opportunities where we're bringing our young people together to build a sense of community. What I've learned in my journey as I like to call myself, a retired principal now, and just from my work that I've done within the Gentlemen's League, is that kids in general just want to belong. They just want to have a space and a place where they feel like they can simply be, period. Where they can show up, no one's going to judge them, no one's going to ridicule them. They can just show up and not put a mask on, not have to act a certain way, but just be. And that's something that is critical to the work that we do at the Gentlemen's League, because we're at so many different schools, because we have so many different young people, some that are needing behavior support, some needing academic support, some needing social support. But together, collectively, we are the Gentlemen's League. And so it is so important for us to create that environment where we really make sure all boys feel seen, heard, and known at all times, and feel like they can really have a space for affinity amongst themselves. And so brotherhood is so important. And I think the last one, which is the biggest thing that we thrive off of, and I think that's what I started with, is our core value of joy. Life is hard. You turn on the TV, you turn the news, there is a constant and consistent narrative about what exists with our boys, specifically here in the community. But I have 1,000 of boys that I have been working with this year, and thousands of boys that I've worked with over the years that are actively combating that narrative, combating that stereotype every single day. And so it's so important that we do this work through joy. How are we creating the environments where our young people are happy, are smiling, are really just enjoying themselves? And so if we have an activity and there isn't music and dancing involved, it's probably gonna not be joyful for the young people. If we don't have a moment where the young people can simply be, what actually brought me so much joy the other day, we actually had a community workshop series it was a cooking demonstration at the Salmon Spot back in Orange Mound. And at the spot, they actually have like board games and cards and Connect Four and dominoes. And I realized, do kids really still play games? Mm-hmm. Like they play video games, but do they actually play like real games that we grew up with? Mm-hmm. And what brought me so much joy was I taught the boys how to play dominoes.
Stop,
which is a core memory
for me too.
For my family. I taught them how to, you gotta slam it down, you gotta slam it down, you gotta have confidence. And to see the boys excited, and for me to teach them, and then I walked away, and then they were like, oh no, we good, we know how to play now. And now they wanna play on their own. It's like, wow, I'm now giving them some alternatives for things that they can do, because that's the whole premise of the Gentlemen's League. Yeah. We're trying to intervene and provide them with positive outlets to keep them safe, to keep them valued, and to keep themselves busy. And so I think all those things creates this culture of joy and excitement and fun, and I think that's what we're really centered on.
Oh my goodness. they are in great hands.
Yes.
They truly, truly are, with you and your team and the investment that you all are making to make sure that they are thriving as young Black men in the world. And they're going to make a difference. I can see that. If anyone wants to get involved, if they want to help you with your mission, if there are families that are watching that want their young boys to learn from people just like you and to do what these other children are doing, how do they get in contact with you?
Absolutely. So we are really on all social media platforms. So we encourage them to come find us on Instagram at The Gentlemen's League, on Facebook, The Gentlemen's League, but also on our website, www.thegentsleague.org. As another opportunity, there's forms for them if they want to register them for our community workshop series. We also are in the process now of pursuing new school partners. And so if there are partners or schools that your child might be at that we currently aren't partnering with, we would love to hear from you and just let us know, because we leverage that as an opportunity, as a pathway to actually talk to schools about having conversation about how do we bring the Gentlemen's League to those schools so that the young people can be a part of the work. Also, we're going to be again getting ready to embark on our summer months, which we normally take time off, but this summer we are going to pilot some programming ideas to kind of get the young people something to do over time. But then also, we're always looking for volunteers. And so on the website, there's also a link if you want to volunteer with us. Please be sure to register that way, because we've realized that we do this work. I have a team of 3 others that we all do this on a part-time capacity. We all have full-time jobs that we are doing, and so we thrive off of community support, and we ultimately thrive off of our parents. And so one of the things I didn't mention was a couple of years ago at our conference, we had parents that didn't want to leave their young people, and we were like, Mama, you can go.
It's okay.
Daddy, you can go. You got the day off. Enjoy yourself. You probably haven't had a day off without kids in a while, so use this time to do that. But in that summer came and we were having a board retreat, and I sat with this idea. We had parents that wanted to be in community with us, and we pushed them away.
Oh, I see.
Why? And so we have since created the Parents Lounge, which is a space devoted to our parents where we pour into them. And so also just knowing for parents, that those that are watching this program, yes, we are devoted to our young people, but we also make sure that we bring our parents along with us, because we want to make sure parents are aware of the programming that we're doing, the topics we're talking about, so they can also reinforce these same ideals at home, because it's going to take all of us to be able to rally behind our young people to get them on the right path. And so if any of that sounds exciting to parents, to young people that are watching, please encourage your parents to sign you up, because we're always looking for more opportunities to be able to impact more and more youth throughout the city of Memphis.
That's incredible. The old adage is it takes a village to raise a child. And so you all are cultivating such a beautiful village with parents, with other professionals, with other schools. You guys are doing some great, great work. Keep up the great job. And thank you so much for being a change maker for our kids in this community. All right, Dr. Archie Moss Jr., thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.